Henry Calvin Cobb was born on August 10, 1852, in Missouri. He was the eighth of 10 children born to Ambrose and Sarah Matney Cobb. When Henry was born, his father was 35 and his mother was 36. In 1861, Henry's family was living in Webster County when his father started his service for the Civil War. He was a private for the Union in Missouri. After his father returned from the war, the family eventually moved to Ozark County, Missouri. On February 7, 1869, when Henry was 16, he married 18-year-old Elizabeth Martin. Henry and Elizabeth would have 12 children together, 3 girls and 9 boys. Sarah, Christine, Andrew, William, Huldah, Ambrose, Henry, Martin, Richard, Benjamin, Daniel, and Homer. Elizabeth would have her children from the age of 20 until the age of 42. Out of all their children, only one would pass away at a young age. Henry passed away at the age of 2 months. It's listed he is buried in Martin Cemetery in Ozark County, Missouri, but his marker has been lost to time. Henry and Elizabeth raised their children in Ozark County and farmed for a living. They lived near the town of Ambrose, which I wondered if it was named for Henry's father. Henry was a prosecuting attorney for a time, then he became a merchant, farmer, and he was also involved in stock trading. The newspaper article that reported on Henry's death titled the story "An Ozark County Tragedy." W.B. Barton lived in the same town as Henry on his farm where he raised sheep. On the night of December 28, 1898, Barton sent word for Henry and his son Andrew to pay him a visit. Shortly after they arrived on his farm, Barton opened fire on them with a revolver or Winchester. Henry and Andrew were badly wounded. Andrew managed to crawl to a neighboring house, and somehow Henry made it back to his house and alerted the law. The sheriff organized a posse, and the next morning they went to Barton's home. They began to search his house, and as a member of the posse, Henry Winger, passed a window, Barton fired and instantly killed him. Barton began a standoff with the posse. Several shots were exchanged, and Barton finally surrendered because he ran out of ammunition. Barton was taken to the Gainesville jail. The newspaper reported that Andrew Cobb was expected to make a recovery, while Henry was in critical condition. Apparently, this wasn't the first time Barton had been violent. The newspaper had reports of 2 different stories for why Barton wanted to end Henry Cobb's life. According to one newspaper article, Barton was having marriage trouble with his wife and she had left him. After leaving him, she had confided in Henry details of a murder her husband had committed in their previous home state of Utah. She stated he was a fugitive and he was on the run for that crime. Barton claimed that Henry was using the knowledge of his crime to extort hush money from him and that he was growing desperate and he was determined to end the extortion. The other story circulating was that Barton himself had confided in Henry, and he believed Henry had betrayed him or was on the verge of betraying him. The article stated Henry Winger, the posse member who had been shot, was a prominent and popular citizen of the town of Gainesville. He was a merchant and justice of the peace, and in his death he left behind a wife and 3 children. Over a month later, on February 7, 1899, Henry passed away due to his wounds at the age of 46. His family buried him in Martin Cemetery. Barton was indicted for the first-degree murder of Winger, and he was awaiting trial in jail. The article stated Henry's death would increase the seriousness of the situation for Barton. It also stated Henry's son Andrew was still recovering from his wounds, but was alive. So this was an outcome I was not expecting. Barton eventually bonded himself out of jail, and he was found not guilty on the murder charge for Winger. In August of 1899, his lawyer requested a dismissal of the case for Henry Cobb because there wasn't enough evidence to convict Barton, and the dismissal was granted. Signing the agreement to dismiss the case included Henry's wife, Elizabeth, 2 of his brother-in-laws, and 2 of his own sons. Another interesting article I found later from the 1930s, it appeared that Barton was helping an attorney represent another man in a trial who was also charged with the murder of someone. After Henry passed away, his wife Elizabeth continued to live in Ozark County. She never remarried, and she passed away in 1936 at the age of 86. When Elizabeth was buried in Martin Cemetery, they had a new double headstone made for her and Henry. So Henry actually has 2 headstones in this cemetery. I wasn't aware of this when I cleaned this one, so I will get the other one cleaned next time I'm at that cemetery. The top of Henry's stone has a linked chain carved at the top. My research found this symbol can mean one of 2 things. It can mean the person was a member of the Independent Order of Oddfellows, which is a fraternal organization. The 3 chains represent their motto of friendship, love, and truth. On the other hand, it can also be a symbol of a family line continuing for generations after a loved one's passing. I didn't find any online resources that verified Henry was in the Oddfellows, so I can't say for sure which is correct, though some websites say having this 3-link chain on top of your headstone is evidence enough that the person was in the Oddfellows. His epitaph says, "He was a kind and affectionate father, a true husband and friend to all." My family tree showed I'm not related to Henry. My husband is related to his wife, Elizabeth Martin, though. She is his first cousin 6 times removed. Thank you for watching. Rest in peace, Henry.